Creating features for solids machining is simpler than you may realize. This tech tip focuses on turning applications, but the concepts apply to milling also. The first example is shaft turning. Various tool paths are used to target specific geometry groups. This image shows the finished solid model with many regions that require machining using multiple tools and tool paths. For this part, I've used multiple turning features, where practical, from Automatic Feature Finder, such as the dark green front turn feature that's used as the target for the initial rough turn tool path. Additional features were also created for specific regions, such as the back turning work shown here and a test cut that we'll see done later in the process. Next, we see a test cut, where the CNC machine will be stopped to allow for measurement and offset adjustment before finishing. The test cut is targeted to a unique feature, and the full finish tool path that follows is targeting the same front turn feature used for initial roughing. Here is a complete list of the features used for tool path, both turning and milling. Some are from Automatic Feature Finder command, and others have been added at user discretion to target specific regions. Overall, the use of various features for this machining setup has simplified tool path creation. They also help future-proof the machining process, allowing for easier processing of design changes. Let's look at some geometry in the next example. Using IntelliSnap, we can see the value of this cylindrical face. The face at the back of the part has the same value, which means this is a common diameter intersected by other geometry. Additionally, there's an area that will need thread turning, and then there's shallow and deep, wide grooves in this part, and we'll explore how that impacts feature recognition. Before doing that, let's turn off the display of the work holding and split the screen into two views to give us a good perspective of the entire workpiece. And then for feature recognition, we'll begin with the Automatic Find Features command. I'll choose my turning mask that sets up the command dialog with the values I want. In this case, the front turn should begin at the highest point of the face and end at the back of the largest diameter. I don't need mill features for this example, and after selecting OK, Edgecam quickly creates the working set. We can see each item. The results are correct based on my directives, but the front turn feature includes geometry beyond what I can machine in this setup. Now, I could build toolpath to machine a portion of this feature anyway, but our focus here is on creating features, not what I can do with toolpath. So, the front groove and front face are definitely useful, but the front turn, not so much. What if we went back to find features and changed directives, asking the front to end where the maximum diameter begins? These results are also correct, but the front turn feature does not include the first segment of the largest diameter. There is a back turn feature that captures everything else, but I really want a single feature that captures exactly what I'm going to turn. So I'm going to undo the second attempt at feature creation. We'll temporarily hide the layer containing the existing features and introduce the turn feature command. I'll show the faces method first and use it to create the thread feature in this part. Before proceeding, make sure to select the preferred layer and color as always. And then, following the instructions in the heads-up display, we'll select the face that represents the major diameter of our feature. And since the thread feature only requires one, as soon as we finish the command, the feature is instantly created. This feature can be selected as the drive line for a thread cycle. Well, what if we wanted to now use that for several faces? In this case, I'll change color and then select the tapered face followed by the large diameter first segment. And again, instantly a feature is created. So this method is very useful when there's a couple of model faces to select. But I want to undo that and switch the method to profile, which can be really useful when there's multiple faces that string together. Edgecam shows a cross-section of the entire model, and the prompts allow me to establish a start, entity, and direction for chaining, and then select the last entity. And after doing that, the first, the last, and everything in between is selected for the new feature. That was really easy. Let's go try that again in the groove area. So same method, and we'll select the starting entity and direction of chain, and then select the last entity in the shape. And instantly that feature is also created. We can build toolpath with these features immediately. Let's switch to a turn view in the right side and then show what happens if there's a design change in the future. So when I change to an updated model, notice that not only is the model replaced, but all the features update. The features created from Automatic Feature Finder and the interactive features that I've built. To help explain the mindset behind solid space turn, I borrowed some material from the Edgecam Turning Fundamentals training course. Now first, what is a feature? A feature is simply an isolated region of geometry within the larger solid that represents a place where we may want to build toolpath. So it gives us some unique geometry that we can use for toolpath creation. If you were to send me a solid model that I've never worked with before, the first thing you'll see me do when I get to the Features tab is use the Find Feature command. Why is that? The keyword is set. With my user inputs, Edgecam will make a set of features. That set of features contains multiple features, a whole bunch, potentially. It's likely that that set contains most, if not all, of what I will be using for creating toolpath. And Edgecam will keep that set up to date. However, there are some models where it may be helpful to add our own manual or interactive features. Now, in many CAM systems, manual features is all they got. As Edgecam users, we're somewhat spoiled because we have excellent automatic feature recognition, but don't lose sight of the manual features, especially for turning geometries where I may need to isolate various different regions within the model for different types of tools. I can create as many interactive turn features as I wish. They are associative, meaning if there's a design change, they will update, and they're editable. So I can edit them and rebuild them to be based on different geometry if needed, which can be a very powerful tool in my box as well. What you see me not do is extracting geometry from the part. The reason is not that I don't know how to build toolpath with that. It's simply that extracted geometry doesn't have any relationship back to the solid model. And I'm not trying to just program a part and it'll never cross my desk. Usually my environment is one where I need to build a flexible machining process. And so in that flexible process, something will change after I've touched the CAM file, and that could be a design change. So I'm putting in a little bit of work at feature creation that saves me a ton of time when building toolpath. That's the mindset. This next part example has modeled threads. This is a condition where interactive features can be useful. Let's begin the process with the typical recommendation of starting with Find Features. We'll set up feature recognition and adjust if needed for the needs of the workpiece. And then I'll select the directions that live tools need to come from, and then review the results. Feature recognition has captured the driven tool features as well as the turn features, everything except the thread. Let's use our new friend, the turn command, with creation method set to faces. As always, we'll select the preferred layer and color. And then zooming into the workpiece, notice that there's a major diameter that coils around the modeled thread, and this is what we'll select as our thread feature. This can be used as the driveline in the thread cycle. Now, I would like to take the extra step to change the work plane of this and put it in the same work plane as the other turn features. Not an Edgecam requirement, more of a personal preference of mine. The final example is something you may recognize from other tech tips that I've done. This is a great example part, and we'll begin as usual with the Find Features command. We'll set up the command preferences. And in this case, there's a 15 millimeter drilled hole through the part, so I'll terminate the bore feature at that position, and we'll skip live tooling for this quick demonstration. This results in the features that we requested, including the front turn feature ends exactly where the major diameter begins. But the back turn feature represents geometry that I'm going to wind up splitting across multiple tools and tool paths. So let's remove that and build our own using the turn command, but this time with creation method set to profile. We see the part cross-section and can choose the starting entity and direction, and then the ending entity for the captured groove, which will be targeted with a large radius tool and the rough waveform turn cycle followed by finish turning, and then create a second feature for the back turn, which would be on a subspindle. And again, starting entity and direction, last piece in the shape, and that feature is also quickly created. Now, it's also possible to add in additional properties through the properties window. Things such as whether the feature's on the front or back of the part, is it bore, is it face, is it turn, and which spindle is it on. You don't need to do that for normal programming, but if you are going to take advantage of Edgecam's feature-based machining, these triggers help guide that process. Do you have questions on this or other topics? Please contact us to discuss. We would love to hear from you.